Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, here to help guide you on your burning adventures, and hopefully everything looks okay and sounds okay. YouTube was trying to give me a problem, but hopefully it didn't work. So if there's any buffering, please let me know, and hopefully everything sounds okay. And today we are adding the Albrecht Durer watercolor pencils to the wood, but there is a couple of things I still need to get done. I need to sign, and I still think that this needs to be darker. What does everybody else think? Hi Eve, hi Grace, hi Zoe. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and sign my initials. I think I moved the wrong pencil. Oh, here we go. This is the pencil I want. So I'm going to initial it here. And sign it on the back. And I do that just so it's easier for me to burn over. So we'll do that real quick while we decide if this wants to be darker. Okay, and then we'll get on to the watercolor pencils. Actually, we're going to start with white watercolor or white colored pencil first. And there is a reason for that. How's everybody doing? Hi, Paul. Does everything sound okay? Can you hear me all right? Got any buffering? Let's see here. I'm going to use the small ball tip to just hopefully neatly sign my initials. It's too dark and I'm not neat. Darker than I wanted. Oh well. So we'll do that. For whatever reason, lettering just does not go well with me outside. It's not burning very dark. This is just the other side of the basswood. It should burn alright, even though it's not sanded. My signature looks bad. So do they hear us okay?
I think so.
You're just all quiet. I didn't know.
I was trying to let you get your initial stuff done. We're buffering a little.
We are buffering.
Just a little bit.
I have reset all my settings. I guess that's what I get for trying to experiment. There we go. Probably should have just got this done last night. But, oh well. I'll go back and darken it where it needs to. I'm not going to worry about it right now. There we go. But I still think, well, let's see here. How does it look on camera? Everything's opposite for me because of how I put the camera somewhere different. And I had to flip it. So everything's opposite for me. Let's see here. I can quickly darken it a little bit more, I think. And it's just mainly here and here. And this is this spear shader. Luckily, higher heats go hot quick. So is there anybody in chat who has used watercolor pencils on wood? And if you're watching it on the replay, because you couldn't catch us live because you're, doing the adult thing, let us know down in the comments. And then I got a funny story. It's funny as in I was a dork on misreading something that I want to share. Eve and Grace, they were all in there when that happened. And that went a little darker than I wanted. So I will do it again. There we go. And if hubby's quiet today, he didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night.
Oh, I was just trying to let you get your initial stuff.
There's nothing
Oh, okay.
that I want to discuss.
Okay. Okay. The Paula Lot is in chat, and Philip
Hey, Philip.
H. Dodson,
That's not burning smooth.
and pen holder art.
Hey, Dan. That's not burning smooth. Let's see here. Where is my big spoon
Did I
shader?
say Sheila?
Hey, Sheila. No. You did now?
Oh.
Alright. I don't think I want to go too far. You see, I turned off autofocus. I thought.
Yeah, it is kind of focusing in and out.
Well, hopefully not anymore. There we go. Hopefully that should fix it. So this is should be the large spoon shader. Think so. Smooth this out a little bit. Though it is a leaf, so any texture in it's not a problem. There we go.
You had a question about the wood that you're using.
This is a cradle board with a basswood top and pine sides, which I did burn the sides. I didn't go very detailed on the sides because the pine burns completely differently and I don't like it. That's why I definitely can't wait to do the truckle boards, because that is a birch top with a basswood cradle, and that burns much better. So let's get some of that texture. Thing is if I keep messing with this too much, I'll just keep burning.
Oh.
And I need to be done.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We are adding color to it, so it's just I needed a few more darks to balance it out a little bit, and I did burn the sides. That's just the stems going off. There we go. So it's not a whole lot, but it's enough to where you kind of look at it at an angle that you can see that the burning keeps going. Hey, Otto. All right, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So the reason I'm going to start off with the Prismacolor and probably the Pablo is because these are wax based, whereas the watercolor pencils aren't. And in laying down the colored pencil first, it will ensure that it kind of acts like a resist. So wherever I don't want the watercolor to go, I should be able to just wipe it off. So I do know that this is my main flower and leaf right here. And I do want to do that one pink. I got my reference photo right here just so I can tell where I want what. And then, let's see here. So we need a bit of highlight.
Chat wants to know where you got your cradle board.
This one was from Dick Blick.
Okay.
I have all the links down in the description, and I do have these cradle boards on my kit page, so you can find them easier. They are affiliate links, so they do help out the channel a little bit too, and it's much appreciated. So by laying this down, a lot of the watercolor pencil, especially when I activate it, shouldn't adhere wherever it's thicker. So I'm just trying to get, and even if it does adhere, it'll be lighter. So wherever it's raised is where we're going to have some highlight. And I'm having quite the shadow on my hand, aren't I?
It's not too bad.
Well, it was one of those, okay, let's see here, let's try that and see if that kind of counteracts. I know which light is doing it, but kind of need the light.
Mind your watercolor here.
Hey, Steve. Yes, in fact, it was Steve who reminded me that I had these pencils and that I needed to play with them. And that's why I changed my mind from doing just straight watercolor with the ground on it to using the Albrecht Durer. So, everybody, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve.
You started to talk about a story, but then you...
Yeah, I want to kind of get this stuff in there before I go to the story of the dork that I am, which is fine. I appreciate being a dork. So let's see here. Now the lighter stems that came out from the pistons, those are white. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. And now when we apply the colored pencil, there's two ways of doing it, or the watercolor pencil. I can lay it directly on the wood and then activate with water, or I can use this Caran d'Ache palette that one side is rough, the other side is smooth, but I can rub some watercolor pencil off and then use a brush to pick it up. Because with doing it with wood, have to worry about how much water we're laying down on the wood. So we have to be careful with that. And so I'm going to try both methods and see which way I like the best. And scribbling it out, there's going to be, I don't want to say less pigment, but not as strong pigment. Because I can water it down and thin it out. But then make sure there's not so much water on my brush. Or I can go directly on the wood, but then when I go to activate, if I have too much water on the brush, it's going to raise the grain. And I don't want that. So, that's the biggest thing with watercolor pencils on wood. But the nice thing is you can also use them as regular colored pencils. So they do double duty. You don't have to activate them. You can just lay them down like I'm doing here and use them as regular colored pencil. But if you want to blend, then use the water. So that does help save a bit of money, especially since if you like the colors of the Albrecht Durer, if you want to stick to that brand of pencil, the polychromos have the exact color names and colors in their polychromos. So they work together really well. Let's see here. And I can always go back and add more white. For now, kind of feels like part of me is kind of, I'm kind of biding my time on adding the water. It's always nerve-wracking. You did all this work.
Yeah.
And then you get to this part where you really want to do it. But, yeah, you can mess it up too. So, we're going to start with this flower, I think. Or should I start with the back flowers? That way if I mess up, I can blend them out.
I would start with the back.
The back?
Well, that's how I work, but I don't do pyrography.
Well, on this, we're just coloring. Now, the Albrecht Durer have better lightfast ratings, and they're on the pencils, so you can see, and this is probably going to be backwards because of how I got the camera.
It is backwards.
It is. What we're looking for are these stars right here at the end of the color number. I'm not going to worry about lightfast on this one because I will be varnishing it and sealing it with UV spray.
Ah.
So I'm not even going to stress. But this summer I'll be testing all my colored pencils and watercolor pencils for light fastness. I got some questionable information that I want to check for myself. So I'll be doing that. So last week during Eve's live stream, Saturday, yeah, I got a comment on my channel of a gentleman in India wanting to know.
From India.
He's from India, or in India, wanting to know what wood burner to get. And then his next comment was, I'm blind, so I don't know what to get. Well, when I read that, I read, I'm blind, and was like, oh my gosh, I've never had this question, and I hate to say this, but I think this is one of the only medias where you can't burn. Because you can't use your sense of touch to keep you going. Can I see some of those pencils over on the left? And so I was so devastated, and I was talking in Eve's chat about how upset I was that I had to tell this person that they couldn't burn. And I've never done that before. And if you have partial sight, if you're using a magnifying glass or whatnot to help you see, you can do it. But if you're fully blind, you can't. And I was just so upset. And I gave him a long explanation and told him I would do research. And I was so upset after that I was doing talking to Jason, trying to figure out what we could do, and got a response back from him. And when I say I was upset, I was really upset. Only to find out that what he meant was he was blind to the choices and not his sight. So that's why I felt like a dork. I read it right, but yeah.
So yeah, you were really.
I was upset.
Really upset, and she started thinking of ways like how to
inventions.
how to do that if you were actually lost your sight. How could you
still enjoy the medium?
Right. And so she spent some time like thinking of things and researching and trying to figure out if maybe we could get an engineer or somebody like that to kind of come up with some of these devices. I mean, not come up with, but actually build some of the things that we were looking at. And so it was about 2 hours.
Well, I went and took a nap, and it wasn't until the next day that I got the response.
Yeah.
Or that I saw the response. He responded sooner. I just didn't see it. So yeah, that was quite interesting. And what you see me doing over here is I'm trying to test to see what colors I want to put on the back and how much pigment I need, and does it work better directly on the wood or if I pick it up. I'm trying to keep the brush as dry as I can. See, that'll work.
But I guess on the plus side,
came up with some ideas.
Yeah, came up with some ideas for people who have problems seeing. The main problem being that if you can't use your eyes, there's computer programs and things like that. But if you don't have that kind of money and resources, then you're going to end up using your sense of touch. And like the reason that I was saying like it's not something you can do by touch, of course, is because the pen tip is over 1,000 degrees, and so you can feel your way around the board, but if you got in contact with that pen, of course you're going to burn yourself, and of course where you just burned is also hot. So we came up with some ideas for an attachment for your fingers on the opposite hand to help relay that sense of touch anyway. So that could be affordable for someone who doesn't have those kind of resources. So
if you are watching on replay and have issues with sight,
I was afraid you were going to say if you're watching on replay and you're blind.
No, if you have issues with sight, but you would like a bit of an aid that hopefully would be safe, that would be our goal.
Grace says potentially a glove. Well, we were thinking something like
that.
But
yeah.
It would be a clip that goes onto your fingers to.
Don't go
Okay,
too
I'm
much.
Sorry, TMI. Trademark. TM.
Well, both TM and TMI. Yes, we don't want to give it all away. All right, it appears because I've only got the 60 count of the Albrecht Durer, I don't have any cream color, and so I'm trying to figure out cream. Yeah, I have kind of creamy colors in the Pablos.
Why is that triggering that?
Are you hungry?
No, well, I didn't bring food today because of the sniffing. I didn't realize that I was doing that. No, it triggered it. Like, you know how when you have a dream?
Oh, yeah.
And then like somebody says something and then you start remembering stuff from the dream. It's like, I think it's that. Question from the mind of Watercolor.
Steve.
Do you have the whole box set of 80 ads? What is that?
Of the Albrecht Durers? No, this is just the 60 set in my pastel box drawer.
Well, that's the whole box.
Well,
what do you mean the whole box?
The 120, I think, is the full set. So I've only got the 60, so I'm trying to figure out what colors. I guess we could go yellow because, let's see here, on the cherry blossoms, we have purple, blue, and red. On the iris, we have yellow. So maybe, should we go blue and pink?
Sure.
Well, I'm just trying to think what would... I know they're not going to all be exact, and I'm looking at the colors that I have. I think I'm kind of thinking... I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, chat vote. I'm going to pull out 2 colors each to see.
That's too many choices.
Well, I like color.
Well, I know
you know, even teal. Okay, so these are the colors I got. For the back flowers, what do you guys think would look good? The delay is always fun.
I was like, sorry, I'm so tired. I was just watching you, and then I just realized nothing's going on.
I do like the teal.
Grace is asking if you could find some combined colors. But...
Well, I can. And I'm kind of... Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm not eating, Grace, because I apparently blew Eve's earphones off last chat, so I'm trying to be better about that with the sniffing.
So let's blend the color. We'll try blending a color and see if we can get cream. Oh, we got cream there.
Zoe Hitchhike says 145 and the one before the last. Cuddle Bloom says pink. Paula Lott says the darker pinks.
Darker
Chris
pink.
Kraft says dark pinks. Lena Goes Art says dark pinks. And Marty's not a cat person.
That is a pink.
Steve's not a cat person. Okay. Grace can't decide. Philip says teal.
Oh, he likes teal.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see, the one thing I'm worried about with using the white to create like a cream is that the white will sit on top of the burning and you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I can get it. You can't see it. But I can see that it sits on top of the burning, so I don't want that. So we had a lot of pinks. We had these, let's see what the teal looks like on the wood. See, that's another reason why I'm testing, is because the color we see on the palette isn't necessarily the color we're going to get on the wood. Because the wood does adjust the color. And see that? I changed it. And the burning itself also acts as a relief. And it kind of makes it a little more muddy. I see, I had this in my head. I had it planned out in my head and it looked good.
You haven't started it.
I know, but I'm not getting the color. What I meant by is the color.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the light blue. And this is why I say always swatch out. So you can see how it looks on the wood and the burning.
Well, that's pleasant looking, I think.
This one?
Yeah.
The light blue?
Yeah.
We do have to let it dry for a second. And I'm trying to use the least amount of water as possible.
So what's the difference between using watercolor pencils and just using watercolors?
The watercolors would be really wet. And we're trying to keep this as dry as we can to keep it from traveling.
Oh, okay.
The more water you use, the more the grain raises. And by using the watercolor pencils, it helps to avoid that a bit more and easier to control. So, I'm just trying to find, I think I might go with the yellow since it's a background color. And keep it light. That way, let's test our pinks though, because pink is what I had for this, which is what we've got going on in here. So hopefully it'll look okay on the wood. I'll just do that. So we can test the color real quick. And that's the biggest thing is you see your color and you expect it to be one way, but when you put it on the wood, it's going to look different. Let's see here. And I can put the pencil directly on the wood. Let's see here. Granted, this is all marked up, so it's harder to tell what's what. So we'll do. And you don't have to activate all of it. So where you might want a brighter color, maybe you would think about not activating. Alright. See, on watercolor paper, so this one will be a couple of coats of the polyacrylic spray so that nothing smears, and then a couple of coats. This is going to be backwards because of the camera. Oh gosh, that's a mind trip. It says UV acrylic.
Make sure to use Norlurk brand.
Let's see
spray.
here. Let's see here. Yeah.
That doesn't help.
It doesn't help. I'll flip the camera at the end, hopefully, so we can see that better. I'm thinking light colors are gonna have to do better and just do more of a tinting versus heavy color. That's what I'm thinking. Whether that's a good thought, I don't know. But the yellow, since the yellow is dried, I've got a couple. This was a darker yellow. Alright, shoot. We're just doing it. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
So for some of this, I'm going to lay down directly on the wood. And I think I'm going to do that where I want more color. And I do have a towel and paper towel in front of me, so I can wipe off the brush and any extra water. I'm not using a water brush with this one because a lot of them release water constantly and can't have that. So let's just do this. We'll put the darker color, of course, closer to the inside. And I'm not using whites, the white watercolor, because it's going to cloud the burning. We want this to be, the color to be as transparent as we can get it. Alright, I need to put this so I know what colors I used. Move this over here. Get those out of my way. Alright, so here we go. I've got a paper towel and I'm just trying to dab off as much as I can, but still have it wet.
Yeah, that's what minor watercolor was saying. So just use a slightly damp brush.
Yep.
Which is what you're doing.
Yeah. This way it's not lifting the grain.
I'm just letting you know we're buffering from time to time. Like we're buffering right now.
Of course we are, because why wouldn't we be? Let's see, blend it out. There we go. Water. Dab it off.
So when it buffers like this, what does it look like in replay?
In replay, it just cuts to the next.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no, it doesn't show buffering.
Oh, okay.
It just cuts. So, you know, there may be, I'm coloring it here, and if it started buffering before I started coloring, and then stop buffering once there's color on, it'll go from no color to color.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you notice, my watercolor pencil is, or I'm sorry, the white colored pencil is not covering. That is at least working the way I wanted it to. So, I do think I want more of a tinting of the color versus really bright. I know people like it really bright. But I've worked hard on this burning. I don't want to cover it all.
I think that's important because, you know, yeah, you really want to preserve the pyrography.
Let's see here. I think we're going to add a little bit of orange in. And since I wanted a little lighter, just enough to give us a little bit of difference. Put a little bit on the brush. And right now, I'm just touching the base of the brush, the bristles to the paper towel, and it'll soak up the extra water. The wood is a little damp. So, with watercolor pencils, not only will you raise the grain, but if you put too much water on here, it will, the color will also travel. We don't want that either.
Where's it going to?
It's going to go. It's going where it wants. Makes it harder to control. And then I'm going to try to blend out the orange. As soon as this dries, it'll lift a little bit, but not a whole lot on the wood. So I'm going to have to blend it out. One thing I didn't check, just out of curiosity. What is this here? I picked this color. This is the light yellow glaze, and it's 3 stars. And I picked the dark cadmium orange, and it's 2 stars. And there's one thing I forgot to do, because all pencils are different. I forgot to look up which scale they're using for the lightfast. Steve, if you remember off the top of your head, is 1 higher or 3 higher? I'm thinking it's 3 is higher because that's cad yellow. Now I do want to blend it out a little bit, so I'm going to add, instead of going directly on the wood, I'm going to put a little bit on the brush, dab it on the bottom, so I'm getting the extra water out, and I'm just going to go over that orange. So this is giving me more pigment than going directly on the wood.
He says 3.
3 is a higher one. Thank you. I forgot to look. So that means the yellow that I'm applying, they claim is lightfast and should last in museum quality lighting and atmosphere for at least 100 years.
Well, that's cool.
So
there's not like a standardized rating across the industry, is there?
There's a couple of different lightfast scales. Here in the US, we use the ASTM, and there's a number behind it that I don't remember. A lot of European products, which these are Faber-Castell, they're out of Germany, use blue wool, but I don't think they're using blue wool, not because blue wool goes to 5 in general. But there's a couple of different tests, and that confuses people.
Yeah.
Instead of having a standard rating for everything.
It would be nice if it was a standard. Then you wouldn't have to remember whether it's lower or higher.
Yeah, and I don't have the tin in here anymore. It's in your studio.
Oh.
So, and I forgot to look. I was trying to get the camera and everything to work again. So...
Paulo Brew is back.
Hi, Paulo. So that's what we got. It's nice and blended. And I do like that it's lighter.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad I picked those colors. But if you notice, the white that I laid down first is not accepting the watercolor pencil because that's a wax pencil. And wax repels water. So we can use that to our advantage.
It don't take water because it's wax.
Something like that. Let's see here. I don't want this necessarily as bright, but I think I'll make this area brighter so that it's the focal point.
Okay.
But I do need to leave.
Well, chat's loving it.
Are they?
Yeah.
This is actually the first time I've used these on wood. I've used watercolor pencils before. Guess not these. So, it's a new one for all of us. Lighting glare. Let's see, I know there's some there. I'm just laying down a little bit because I know the more I lay down, the brighter it's going to be. And since this is a further away flower that I want less focus on, which is why I didn't burn it as tight as I burned this one. I need to keep the color not as bright as well. And actually, let's see here. This one is cream. And it's 2 stars. I'll just hit some of that just to lighten it up a little bit. I'm not going over my darker burns because there's a chance of the color pencil, the watercolor pencil, creating a haze over the burning that I don't want. So,
even if it was a purple haze?
Even if it was a purple one.
In your brain?
Yeah. Even that. So I may dial down the yellow a little bit.
Grace says that the video that's being recommended to her right now is a how to get started video that has the torch.
Well, I do need to figure out what next week's live is going to be. since we will be done with the flower series.
Heather's here.
Hey, Heather. There you go. See, yep, I painted directly over the watercolor. I'm sorry, the color pencil, and I'm getting a complete resist on it, which is what I want. Just kind of blend this out a little bit. And when you're doing this, you want to stick to color families. So I'm doing yellow and orange here. I don't want to turn around while there's still pigment on the brush and go into the pinks, because then you'll get peach.
So you want to keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Okay.
Rinse your brush in between. Alright. And I think this one, I need to dial down the color.
How are you going to do that?
Thinking I might use Sanguine, which is 3. Let's see how that looks. I want a little muter color. And of course, the opposite of orange is blue, or yellow is purple, but I don't want to make a gray. So this is not as a bright orange, so I think this will work okay. Let's check. Yeah, I think that will work much better for what I want. So put a little bit of that in there. And I am trying to do a bit of negative painting around this petal so that everything, there we go. Again, don't want to cover up my burn. I still want my burn to be the most important thing on here, because if not, why burn it? Alright, so that's a little duller. Let's see here. We gotta let this dry because it will dry later than what we see. Okay. This right here was like an out of focus flower. I'm gonna leave that actually. I'm not gonna paint that. That way it stays in the background, because adding the color is popping things forward. And since I don't want everything forward, I'm not going to paint that. Let's see here. I think this one is going to be pink, 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 so the yellow.
So Paulo has something interesting. You probably know this.
What's that?
He said that he learned today that light fastness tests use filter paper.
I did not know that.
What's filter paper? Is that like for cigarettes or?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest
Fish
with you.
tanks, wrapping fish tank filters.
I don't know.
What is filter paper?
Please explain.
Cold filter paper. So you can have the smooth taste of watercolor. Cold filtered.
See what
is it beer?
No.
Oh. I don't know why I got excited.
I don't know. You don't drink.
I'm tired.
I know you're
That's why.
tired. I had a hard time sleeping.
I can't be responsible for the things that I say.
Oh gosh.
I was about to fall asleep a little bit ago.
What, in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
But now
Okay.
I broke on through to the other side.
Grace, start giving him a hard time to keep him awake.
What?
Be
Whatever.
nice though.
Whatever. Grace can't touch me.
Be nice, Grace, but keep him awake.
I'm King Kong.
Here we go. Here we go. Alright, dab off the water. And I'm not being super particular. And because this flower wraps, I am going to have to paint at least that petal.
It wraps.
It wraps.
Like J-Rock.
It gets down with its bad self. Alright, get that in there. Remember, as it dries, it lightens. So we do have a bit of color shift, but I think that works to my advantage. fact, I think I'm going to have to add, actually, a little bit more yellow to some of these petals because it has dried down. So I guess...
Paulo says it is a cellulose paper used in laboratories to filter.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay, I know what it is now.
I was thinking more of photo paper, but okay.
I know exactly what he's talking about now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you want to know
They
why?
also use it in painting, and can be used like in automotive painting. It's used to filter out impurities.
Oh.
So I think it's the same kind of paper.
Same kind?
And Grace says, "Be nice." What? I know, Grace.
Yeah,
Exactly. What?
I know.
Bring it.
No, don't bring it. Gotta keep chat on replay.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Whoa. You know who'd probably do a better job? I'm reading Grace's comment. Bernie. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Oh boy.
Oh.
So it begins.
Yeah. I don't know what Bernie would have to say about that.
I have just water on this brush right now, just so I can kind of blend out a little bit better the color. Let's see here.
Speak her name, and she's Shiloh Pierre. She's like Candyman or Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I didn't get that very well, so let's drop some in there. Not too much though. I do have a towel that's off to the side that I'm wiping off on as well.
You always need a towel.
There you go, Grace. I said be nice. Alright, so we'll let that dry and see if we're going to have to darken it a little bit more or let it be. And see here. Since I used that orange there and this is a closer one, I think we're going to go with the brighter orange. I don't think we have to do very much because this is the back side of the petal of the flower. So try to go with the petal. Let's see. Okay, so
Paulo has a question.
Mm-hmm.
Want the colors to become more vibrant after the clear coat?
A little bit. Everything will darken up a little bit, kind of similar to pastels. So, because I'm putting them on light, they should stay lighter. For this, for what I want for this piece, I just want this more of a kind of staining effect, more of a tinning effect than I do extremely bright colors. And that, again, is just a personal choice for the artist and what they see for their piece. But I'm kind of liking just the more of a tint so that I don't lose the feel of the burn. Let's see here.
You always want to feel the burn.
Alright, because I've got ingrain of the wood here and the pine. I think I'm just going to go light yellow.
So if they're having like a workout program and they're like, feel the burn, and then you run in and you're like, no, don't feel it.
Let's see, I went too far.
Oh,
that's fine.
I thought it was funny.
I laughed. Sorry.
You said I went too far.
I went too far.
Oh.
On what I was painting down. I went too far. That's all I was talking about.
I'm so tired.
You're fine. In the scheme of things.
In the scheme of things. You're right. Walk it off.
Walk it off. Okay, I think I'm going to do the green for the leaves just so when we get to the pink, I have an easier time adjusting. So I'm going to pull those away.
Yellow is giving me a craving for banana ice cream.
For banana ice cream? Let's see here. I take this off. See if you can see it better. I'm actually really liking that.
I do too.
I think I like this one so far the best out of the three.
It's amazing how a little color can change. Just a little bit of color can
Just
change.
a little bit.
Like, really honestly, like the yellow and then the brown of the burning, the sepia tones, they're like really pleasant together. I don't know.
The
if
yellow
I was
is
you, I would have a hard time. Like, I would consider not even adding color.
to what?
Huh?
Huh?
What were we talking about?
You lost me. Right now, I'm just going to add a little tint to the hair. So you're saying don't color in the...
No, okay, yeah. I was saying that I would be hesitant to add more color because it looks really amazing. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to put some more focus on the central flower.
Yeah, I do.
So maybe if that was like the only thing colored a different color, then it would like bring real focus. You just have to keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Let's see here. So I think this color is better, which this is olive green yellowish 2-star. Let's see here. I need that for that.
Flower in the center. Need to keep you in the family.
I'd
be very displeased if you chose a different color family. It might be dangerous for you.
Now I don't want this as bright as it's going to show. So I'm going to layer down this lighter green, which is cadmium yellow lemon, 3-star. And then we're going to add a little bit of this green.
Zoe's got to go.
Bye, Zoe. Thanks for stopping by. This is a brighter green. And I'm layering the two colors together. And then with a clean brush, wipe off the excess. I'm going to start with the brighter color, the yellowish color, and then brush down into the darker green. Because if I go the dark green up, it's going to make it darker than I want. So I can move it around. I think it needs a little bit more. Can drop it in there, tap it in, because the wood's wet.
Philip has to go now, too.
Oh, thanks, Philip.
Why is everybody leaving?
I know.
It's because I'm tired.
Is that way?
Yeah.
It's your fault?
Yep. Blame it on me.
Okay, so we got that. I don't want it too much. Do I need to zoom in a little bit so you can see?
I can see just fine. Oh, hang on. Let me look at the screen. I can see just fine.
Let's see here. These leaves are actually not green. They're brown.
It's not easy being green.
I know. So what I have to figure out is what color do I want these. I'm gonna grab...
Pen holder art has to go too.
Bye, Dan. The Burt Sienna. I'm so not gonna take it personal that everybody has to leave.
Please leave. Stop leaving.
I'm not gonna take it personal. You know what? I pulled...
I know, Grace. It's all my fault.
A red violet, and I'm thinking that maybe I can get closer to this brown if I add a little bit of that in there. Let's see here.
Grace just yelled green.
Green?
For no apparent reason.
Well, I'm doing the leaves.
I think it's Tourette's. She's just like...
That's actually closer color.
She's sitting in front of this screen and she's like, green!
You like colors?
Yeah.
Let's see here. So this is darker in the center. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the yellowish green, I think. And I've already got laying down, and I'm going to add it maybe to the edges. Or not. In fact, since it's drying, I'm seeing that it's covering the burning. I don't want that. So I'm going to wipe it down a little bit before the pigment fully dries. And I think maybe in this case green might be a better choice. So, kind of smear that around a little bit. I'm trying to have my brush as dry as I can.
Grace says, oh, okay, brown it is.
I'm going to switch over.
You doing green?
So a little bit of green. Just to kind of tie things together. Even though it's a little pictured a little differently. I think I'm trying to stay in the burning. I just went off a little bit. But... uh-oh. Does that hurt?
Yes.
Well, be careful.
It's about the UV color. It's about the color spectrum.
About the color spectrum? Is it going to confuse people?
No.
Is it going to confuse me?
I can't say it out loud yet because I'm tired.
Okay.
I need to think about it some more.
I need to work it out?
Let's see. It might not be true.
Let's slow our pigment down. I am liking this green better on. And the more water I add to my palette, the lighter the color will be, but I have to remove that extra water. Let's see here. In fact, I think I'm going to let this dry and then add a bit of the colored pencil, the watercolor pencil, like this, because I'm not getting too much color. And I'm not pushing hard, because if I push hard, and because when I go to activate, I'm trying to have the least amount of water as possible, it's not going to activate all the pigment, because the pigment will be down in the grain and it'll take more water to activate. If that makes sense. I don't know if I just confused myself or everybody else. So I'm not pressing hard. You know, I want to try this gold Taklon brush. Let's see how well.
The what kind of brush?
Golden Taklon.
Oh.
And see how well it moves pigment. It moves pigment really well on watercolor paper, but you kind of need a stiffer brush for the wood. So, do that. These leaves down here are pretty dull.
Grace says you told her to be nice. When did you tell her to be nice?
When I told her to keep you awake.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Add a little bit more pigment. So really this looks more like photo tinting than it does.
Yeah.
Like full on color.
It reminds me of like when they started colorizing photographs early on. You know how it was like a lot of pastels.
And that's kind of what I want. I don't want to, because if you notice when I put too much color on, it really kind of messed with the burning. It really made it more cloudy. And I don't want that.
Oh, she says Val wasn't nice though.
I wasn't nice. What did I do?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't remember.
I don't either. It's harder when you're alive because you just go. And so I have a good memory, but I have a hard time remembering what I said during the lives.
Yeah. Did it hurt?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, did you say that to me?
I did.
Hey.
I did. That's a common question of mine for you.
It really is.
Alright, so let's see if I can do this a little bit better. Yeah, see, every time I put more pigment on the leaf, because there's more burning here, it comes out more cloudy. And I don't want that for the burning. So, I'm going to move this around and kind of clean up the burning and push it out to areas that's not burnt as much. And when I go to varnish, the way you see it here now, it'll be closer to this in color and value for the burn itself. So,
Heather says this video is cooler than the ones where you made the drawing.
oh yeah? Thank you.
What's she talking about? Making the drawing.
Burning?
Oh, okay. Oh.
That's my guess?
Yeah.
That's my guess. Let's see here. How much is showing up on camera? Not so much of the green, but
yeah.
You know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
You know what? That's good though, because then, like, when people see it in real life, they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't see these colors."
Yeah.
That's the benefit
Maybe.
of seeing an original.
Maybe. All right. So now we're moving on to pink. And the good thing about this palette is I can just spray it off, wipe it off, or I can keep it with the colors on it because this is just pigment that I'm wiping off.
Oh, I get it now.
Don't want to waste it.
Okay, so Heather says this video is cooler because you aren't burning.
Oh, I get it now too. Alrighty, we got some pinks. Again, I'm not worried about the light fastness, but if I can pick some colors, pinks and purples and some blues have the biggest issue with light fast. So I've only got 3 out of the bunch, but they're all 2s for the rest. So let's see here. Those go together.
Grace says it looks like a more realistic leaf with multiple colors.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I think I'm going to try a little calmer color of the pink. I'm not a big pink person, but...
Look at that. Grace and I agree on something. Not so different after all.
Not so different after all. Let's see here. That's one. That's the darker pink. And... yeah, I think this will work right here. Well, now that I have, when you look at it, they kind of look similar, similar value or tone. No, color. No, one of those. But when I wet them, they look differently when they wet. Not as much as some pencils. Steve did a whole video looking at these pencils, and I will try to remember to put an iCard up for Steve's channel if you want to take a look at his review on these.
Grace says salmon looks pretty. Yes, those first two together.
Those two together? See, I kind of like this one and that one together. Choices. Thing is, okay, I'd scratch that pencil out. Let's see here. This is carmine, and medium flush. Yeah, that's got a whole thing with it. I'm not going there. What?
You're not going there.
I'm not going there. Let's see, what's madder look like?
What's what?
Oh, this isn't rose madder, it's just madder. I'm curious to see how it looks when it wets.
Well, madder is all around this, Valarie. It has many different appearances.
Let's see here.
It could be a solid or a liquid.
Well, shoot there. I guess we're just gonna go for it. I'm thinking too much. So this one is... oh. I think I grabbed it. Did I grab... oh, I grabbed the wrong pencil. I guess we're doing this color.
It just happened.
I grabbed the wrong pencil. I had the two pencils set over here that I wanted to use, but I grabbed a pencil from over here. You know what? I can lay this down in a couple of places. I did it on purpose.
Ray says medium well.
Yeah, that's how he likes the steak. All right.
How did steak come into this?
Medium well?
Yeah, I knew that. I missed the transition somehow.
I guess so. Or I did.
I'm tired.
Actually, I think I did. Alright, so since this was an oops color, I'm just going to lay it down everywhere. And then I'm going to blend it out instead of stressing about it. I'll put it over here in case I like it. Alright. So, now if I wet the wood and took one of the pencils and drew over the wet wood, it's going to make the color more permanent and darker. So I'm going to have to wait till this dries, which actually I kind of like this color. It's kind of a blush. So maybe this wasn't such a bad oops. I know it's light, but that's because I thought I messed up. So, and I'm not feeling the grain raise on this. It's raising a little bit, but not bad. Not bad at all. So, I'm doing that part right. I do actually kind of like that color. And I think this is actually kind of closer to the photo.
Hmm. Oh, I like that. That's very nice.
Well, I'm going to take a wetter brush, or clean brush, to pull some of this pigment. It's darker in the back. Alright, let's do a clean brush and kind of blend it out. And see, I'm not losing my whites, and I like that. Let's see here. Blend this out. I can use a little bit more. Now what I can do with the color is kind of accent where I burned and make that a little darker, and so it'll make the petal feel more like it's turning up, or is underneath the other petal, like right here. And the brush is really dry right now. It's just enough to pick up the pigment. Yeah, a little wetter. Bring it out. And I do know that towards the edges of the petals that I do want that lighter. So kind of bring that out. I don't know, I might actually keep this flower with less color on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it kind of just accents it without... There we go. Find a... What do you think? I don't know that it needs...
No, I think that the hint of color is...
I do too. I like that.
I think I would leave it.
We'll let it dry and see how that looks. But we do have this flower back here. I'm actually really liking these watercolor pencils for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing a really nice job. I was worried about it being too pigmented, and on paper, of course, depending on how much pigment you lay down, on paper you're going to get a brighter result. But for wood, based on how we're doing it,
So it looks better on paper?
I think this one I'm going to go with a little bit darker. I'll say this was the color I was using.
Paula Lot says, yes, keep it as stunning as it is.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
I think so. I think it's subtle.
But I do think this flower in the back that's turned needs to have some, like, I don't want to say duller, but what was the word?
Muted?
Yes, thank you. That's the word I wanted. I think it needs a little muted color. I'm not sure how. If Steve's still in here, how would I mute that, Steve? What color would I use to kind of mute the pink?
Hit the mute button.
Go to hit the mute button. Then they can't hear me. Let's see here. Yeah, I think these need to be muter pinks. That way we can keep this one. And I don't know that I'm going to do that one since I'm not doing that side.
I like that.
And this way, our focal point has stayed the same. I wonder, is this? No, I need a muter pink. Meaning the color of the pink is not as bright.
Just add some water.
Yeah, you can add water and it makes it lighter, but that's not, I don't want it lighter. I want it calmer, muted.
Oh.
And normally you would use the opposite of it. And the opposite of pink would be a green. I wonder.
Are you looking at graying it out?
Not graying it out, just calming it down so that it pushes.
Steve says yellowish green.
Yellowish green. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Alright, so we'll lay some of that down. And then the yellowish green I actually used a little bit here and in the petal, so that would work out actually. Pick up a little color. Not too much. Just a little orangey. Let's see here. And this is where swatch charts really help. Let's put that together. So it went a little orange because of the yellow, but I think it'll be. And I've used a color that I've already used in the piece, so it'll help it be a little bit more harmonious. Now look, it's kind of, I think even the little peakiness that we got works. So that's still.
I think it's just peachy.
And this one over here. What I didn't do was blend out the white colored pencil.
That's interesting. Paula Lot says that I actually drag a clean eraser over my watercolor pencils to mute the colors.
And I bet you that works really good on paper. I'm not quite sure how well it would work on wood. It's a good idea, though.
I don't know how it would work either.
I'm going to add a little extra water just to the color. Dab it out. Let's see here. This is darker inside. So I'll let more pigment be there. Yeah, the white watercolor or white colored pencil, which is just a Prismacolor pencil, I think they have the best white. It's working really well. See, we're also going to get different amount of color along the grain. So we have to keep that in mind. Yeah, I do like the more muted color. Let's see here. I think I need a little bit more of that. I was using the cadmium yellow lemon, which, why was it in my greens when that's a yellow? Because when you hold them up, you can see the yellow or the green hue to it. Hue, that's the color name.
I handed you the box.
No, that one was in this box.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so I do get a little peaky, but I think it works. And because I'm using these colors in other areas, it doesn't look too distracting.
So the eraser to mute, Paula says that she only uses it on wood, so not paper.
Oh, okay.
And then Paulo is asking, aren't these pencils permanent after they get wet?
Watercolor pencils can be lifted. Oh, after wet though. You can lift them with a wet brush.
I think it depends on how much goes into the grain, right?
How much has gone in, how much pigment you've used. Yeah, I'm liking the peachier color, but it's still the same pink because we use the same pink here. So the hues shifted, but because we use the same one, it all goes together. Let's see here. How's that look?
Steve says try a greener green.
Try a greener green. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see here. I've got this green here. Let's see what happens with that green. Where did my pink go? All right. Let's see here. Yep, that is a muted green without, or a muted pink without the orange. And I did use this green as well. So I'm going to put that in my shadows. Plus, if you think about it, the leaves will be reflecting a bit of light, their greenness into the petal. Look at that. Steve probably never thought he would be helping out in a live stream. For me.
Yeah.
For burning. Let's see here. Let's put some shadow in there. Under the leaf. And I think I want some here. Yeah, that calmed the pink down even more. And I don't know that I actually want any color behind the flowers.
I don't think so. I think that how you've handled the burning part of it is perfect.
Make sure I got... I'm trying to lift a little bit of pigment and kind of move it around just a little bit. Alright, so because we added that much color on the back, should I do any more to the front flower?
I don't think so.
I'm getting glare. There we go. See if that. Just cut them all off. See if we can. No, that don't work. Though you can see a little better. I don't know if I actually want to do any more.
Well,
do I need maybe a little darker pink in this, just closer in the center, so that
personally, I don't know. I like that the flower in the forefront is like more devoid of color. I mean, there's a little hint of it, but it looks like a white flower.
It does look more like white
and I
flower.
think that that's important because the contrast that you've added with, how you treated it and with the colors in contrast was what you were talking about when you started this piece anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good example of that. I wouldn't do it.
Well, I was just talking about just in here, down in, because that is the bottom of the stamens does have color. And so that's just where I was talking. Just take a little bit deep breath in here. Just to kind of tint. A little bit. Don't want a whole lot. Just to help.
Apparently, we pronounced Paula Lott's name correctly.
Yay. Alright. So, I was going to say no more, but I do think I need to move this color around just a little bit.
We're buffering.
Well, we're almost done. So, yeah. Oops, drop something. Alright. I think I'm going to stop with that. I'm actually really happy. Let's see here. What I did was I pulled out the other two flowers. They're over here behind you, behind you, look.
What? Where?
The other two flowers, they're standing next to my clear.
Oh, you want them now?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
show them together. Since we finally got through this whole series, I do want to see what they look like together. Let's see here. I want to put my lid on my water. You found them? So you can take that, and I'll take that.
I'm not supposed to take it.
So just put it up there. And pencil dry.
I got it.
Alright, so I wonder if I need a little bit more blue.
No.
You sure? Because these two go together well. And if this was a different size.
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine? Because I've got yellow and pink here. And I've got the purple. What?
Grace says no more for Val means 5 more minutes of tweaking.
No. I am.
Yeah, I like it. I like how they go together. It's fine.
Are you sure? Because I kind of feel like there needs to be blue. Why are we dropping everything?
You look like you're playing.
God damn it!
What?
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 I keep putting this up and it keeps dropping on the floor. I've bent over 3 times to pick it up.
You look like you're playing 3-card Monte with those. Did you just hit your head?
I did.
Oh my god, everything's falling apart.
I'm
Why?
falling apart. Oh, that poked me in the forehead. Alright. So, this is how I pictured them hanging, but I feel like this one, these two go together, this one does not. So if I didn't hang those, I think those two work just fine, and they're 2 different media. But I think once you put this one in, I hate when the cameras flip because then I can't get it any right. I can't get it right. You know, so when I guess they can hang like that instead of, and since, but I didn't finish the edge on this one. So this one is just a flat burning, whereas both of these, the edges are done. So, and these will be hanging next week. We got contacted to hang at another location, so we'll be hanging in 2 different places, and these are going to the new place.
Yeah.
So for sealing, I am still going to UV spray. In fact, all this will be UV sprayed. None of these are sealed right now. So what I will do, in order to, because this one is brush show, this one is colored pencil, and this is the watercolor pencil, and this has a bit of the Carbothello pastels. So I will spray, and this is all going to be backwards. You know what? I'm flipping the camera. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip it.
Lana and Paula are wondering about a tiny bit of blue around the cherry blossoms.
See, I am too.
But I don't know. If you add blue, then the other one doesn't have any blue.
No, we did put blue in this one. Along in the pastel areas, we did put blue.
Well, I suppose that they could relate to each other like that. But I would say a tiny bit.
Well, I'm thinking like just like a little bit
small.
Of blue, just right.
Like so small.
Me too. You've got the blue pencils. Just pull a blue that you think will work, because I think that's what will be the tying together. Because the reason I did these flowers this way and the orchids this way is so that they all point this way. Let's see here. You know what? I think maybe that blue.
That was my first thought.
Would probably work. Sorry. Let's see here. I'm thinking I'm going to keep those there so I can see. But I do think a little bit of this one is ultramarine, 2 stars. Let's see what it looks like. I can kind of do a thin down version of it. Pull the water. Yeah, I think I can tint with this one. And because I think we used ultramarine blue in the brush show, and I don't remember the blue in the pastels. But I do think it needs just a little bit. Okay, deep breath, because I'm actually happy with this.
Deep breath.
Actually, the pigment is brighter when I put it with the brush. So maybe if I do this.
Has to go.
Hi, Paula. Have a fun storm in the castle. So we'll put a little blue here.
Think they'll make it? Nah. It's gonna take a miracle.
And we'll put a little...
Oh, I can't believe Missy never saw that movie.
I know.
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Missy's watching. It's terrible.
Alright.
Pretty sure she's not watching now.
No, she's at work.
Oh, that's right.
You gotta do that thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's... I may have to go darker. Yeah, I'm just... If I start off lighter, I can build it up. More so than if I just... Let's see here. Since I got some water on here, tap a little bit more blue in here carefully. I don't want to get on the petals, because you're right, they are translating. This one's translating more white.
I know, Grace. It's weird.
What's that?
That Missy hadn't seen The Princess Bride.
I know.
It's weird.
You didn't raise her right.
I know, I didn't.
Alright, so I do think we can go a little darker.
The girls have seen Princess Bride.
The boys have seen it.
I feel like I should make Corinne watch it again, just to make sure.
Yeah. See, I have to be careful though, because the wood is a yellowish tone. And so...
It is a yellow tone.
Let's take this pencil, or this paintbrush while it's wet, kind of blend it out. I'm trying to go real light. I do see that, with this piece on its own, didn't need any blue. But hanging next to the other ones,
it needs some blue.
It needs some blue.
I understand.
Alright. Let's see here. You really can't see it a whole lot.
I can see it.
Over here.
I can see clearly now. The blue is on.
Let's see here. I think a little blue here. Yeah, we're getting close to losing you, aren't we? Yep, he's going. Oh boy. I have to have a steady hand. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. What broke you? I didn't do nothing.
Oh God. Oh, I'm dizzy.
What did you do?
I don't know. It's just a funny thought.
Oh. So you're not going to share with the rest of us?
No, it's not applicable.
Oh.
It's a new show I was watching. I have to show you a part of it.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Alright.
Sorry, everybody.
Try to blend that out a little bit.
It happens when I'm tired.
Yes, it does. Let's see here. Maybe where? Decisions. Alright, so let's see. Where could we use? Do we need more blue? Are we good where we're at? Go this way. How's the camera? Go this way. Let's see here. I feel like I'm playing with Jenga.
Looks like you're doing 3-card Monty.
Am I winning?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We haven't chosen a thing yet to see if the other things I need.
I'm just trying to see if I need more blue. Because this is really blue. And these are less. Like I said, if these just hung together, that'd be fine. But the brush I won is really throwing me off. And I can't put colored pencil on top of it to... I mean, I wanted them to be different, but I wanted them to be same. So...
I think that you added the blue in. I think that's enough. Because then they relate to each other now.
Alright. A little bit of it by the yellow. And you can pick up pigment directly from the pencil with the wet brush, but I don't like doing that. And that's because I work with wood, so I expect the wood to, on the pencil, to weaken. Some watercolor pencil company says you can. I just choose not to. Alright. So, would you guys say that's enough blue?
I think it is. That's really pleasant. I like that. I really like that effect. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's enough blue.
I am really happy with how
I am too.
that flower.
And I think it's
throws
cool.
me off.
I think it's cool because they all relate to each other. Because like, one is more blue, one is more yellow, and then one is more regular, like neutral tone. But they all relate to each other. It's like this infinite circle of relatability.
And that's what I was and that's why this goes, and in fact I might hang this a little higher.
I really like those flowers. Those are like, You use the contrast and negative burning, and
On the cherry blossoms?
and it added actually more definition, in my opinion, than actually defining him. It's really well done.
Let's see here. Thing is this orchid stops here. I can hang it. Then it almost looks like it's going like that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, I see.
See, it almost looks like this orchid right here.
Like it's a continuous
flower
with different kinds of flowers.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh.
Oh, wow. It almost looks like, and I did not plan this.
Almost looks intentional.
It almost looks intentional, but you have to kind of hang it.
You have to have it hang it staggered.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
That looks cool, but now I'm wondering if I should add yellow to this right here so it goes into that one.
Didn't you already seal those?
No, none of these are sealed.
Oh.
I'm talking about on this corner, the one we're working on. I'm not talking about doing anything else to these guys.
No, I don't think you should because you're not going to hang them all like right together there. There's going to be some separation, and I think that separation is enough implication to make it work. If you add too much yellow, it'd be a multiplication of an implication, and it would cause people
I think that looks cool.
Hesitation.
But I think that looks cool hanging like directly connected,
and then
versus
they won't have so much visitation.
I'm gonna have to put you to bed here in a minute.
But they shouldn't be connected.
Though.
No.
So.
I don't think so. I think they
like that.
Yeah. But I would put when we hang them in the in the show. I think that they need to be even more separated.
More separated.
Mm-hmm.
But then you don't get this illusion that was unintentional. I did not intend that.
You gotta start claiming it as intentional, though.
But it wasn't intentional.
When
this is a really happy. Wow.
When people ask, I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, she's a master," and that she intended this from the beginning, and it surprised us all. Only she knew what the larger plan was. Only we could see it after she was completed. And that's how we knew that she was done. We could see it. She's a visionary.
Let's see this better. Let's see here. Like that.
Grace agreed with me again. It doesn't need yellow.
Okay.
What is going on?
I know. What's wrong with the universe?
I don't know what's wrong.
Let's see here
Grace
if I can.
and I are agreeing. Auto prefers unconnected.
Well, see, I think it looks kind of cool.
Well, you're the artist.
I know, but this
Ultimately, you're gonna hang them how you want.
There we go. Now we can see them better.
But here's the thing, though. If you hang them all together like that,
yeah,
they're no longer like a triptych, and they're a single.
Oh, I would have to like attach them together in the back to have it one piece.
You wouldn't have to attach them together, but you would probably have to sell them together. Because if it's like that and that's how it's presented, and somebody's like, "Oh, I want the middle one," then it's no longer a cohesive thing. So you have to decide whether you want to sell them as a unit, or
I would like them to be bought together.
But a print like this, where it's these three connected, and it's a white background, that could look kind of cool.
Yeah, but then I have the wood lines in the print.
Yeah, I know. But it's a thing to do. Or do you do prints each individual ones and then allow your audience to arrange them as they see fit?
I don't know.
All these things are questions.
I am happy. I think out of all of these, I am the least happiest color-wise with the orchids, and the most happiest with the cherry blossoms today. But see, flowers have never been my main subject, so what you're seeing here is a progression of my journey.
And as your PR manager, I would say Val never did flowers before because she's already mastered them. This is just something she did.
No, I can't say that because I did the sunflowers.
However, since these are arranged as shown, now they have a collective price of $5 million.
See, this one...
For check or cash?
As long as it clears. This one really... Part of me wants to redo this one. But that's so much work.
It is. I wouldn't do it. But then again...
To see, this one would have to hang further away.
Okay, well, instead of redoing it, you could do another one that connects the four.
I'm wondering,
so you could
so
have
two on one,
you could have two in the yellow tone, and then you could have the blue tone,
and have another square one with this tone.
Yeah, you could.
And then have that over here.
But that's if you want to.
But I'm wondering if it wouldn't be so bad if I added some yellow to the orchid, so that all three colors.
No, I like it. It's like it's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something like that. Because like, how do these relate? And it's like, well, okay, they're all pyrography, and that's that. But no, I'm tired.
I know.
So you got the one on the left, and it's like, well, it's got a little bit of yellow in it, so it relates to the yellow one, and it's got pink in it. It relates to that one. Oh, it's got blue, so it relates to the blue one.
But we have blue in all three.
Right.
We have pink in all three.
Yes. We
have yellow in 2. So if I put just a hint of yellow, maybe, and this has got watercolor ground on it, so I could do it right now without it causing any issue.
Grace was right.
Oh. No, but I'm not. No, I am done with this one. I am done with this one. And see, there's also another color that is in.
I'm so tired.
I know you are, love. We've got green in both of these and no green in this one.
Please release me.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking now. Just where would I put it?
Wait, Odo makes a good point.
What's that?
Makes a good point.
What's that?
She says, no, you'll make the blue stand out even more if you add the yellow. That's true because it is a complementary color.
How about green then, in order to...
But then you don't have green in the middle one.
Yes, I do. It's right there. That's what I'm saying. These two both have green and yellow. And a hint of blue. This one has the purple, the red, and the blue with no green.
Look at Eve's comment, though.
No, Val. Because I think they all want to be done.
No, Eve.
No, I'm talking green now, not the yellow, not the yellow.
Read Eve's comment. They look a bit as if it's Sakura is the morning, Iris midday, and the orchids are night. It could be the phases of the day.
I like that.
And then you wouldn't need any yellow. And
that puts it this way then.
Yeah, that's cool. Of course, chat's looking at it
now
backwards.
I know, but now they're going out away from each other. Let's see if anything connects.
Yeah, they connect. Look at that.
Kind of.
Look, hey.
I'm just curious at this point if anything connects.
Hey,
ooh, that looks cool.
Everything connects. Like you could turn that one and then connect it to the other one, and you can make them a different grouping. This is create your own composition.
I like that.
So we need to do 3 different prints and no borders.
It almost looks like a vine.
Create your own composition.
Yeah, I actually like that.
Oh god. Okay, I'm to that point where now
I'm really happy with that one.
Well, I'm happy with
that's my favorite. Yeah, the camera's flipped, so that's why I keep. I tried to flip it back, but OBS is being a pain in the butt. I really like how the ones today came out. And that's so cool looking.
You says you've missed her interpretation.
What? You said morning, noon, and evening.
Yes.
Did I miss something else?
No, the camera's flipped, I think.
Yeah, so for you guys, it's
She said yes. Oh, camera's flipped. Okay.
yeah. So for you guys, it's morning, noon, and night. If I put it back that way. See, now I don't get quite. See, the other way they could almost be lined up exactly. I'm not getting quite. I'm sorry. This is like really cool to me. I didn't plan this. It just looks so cool. I like that. No?
Oh, sorry. I'm not feeling well.
Okay, we'll finish it up. Okay, so I'll figure out how to hang this for the show next week. So, for all three of these, regardless of what media I use for color, I will be doing a couple of clear satin polyurethane. And I know it's flipped, so you can't read it.
Here's an interesting thought.
What's that?
So, we could do prints of this, right? And frame them all identically.
Yeah.
And then when you display these, like, I wouldn't do it with originals because you wouldn't want people messing with them. But we could with the prints.
Oh,
you could have like
an interactive art thing,
right? You
where
could
they
have
move it
little
around.
things like place, arrange these how you think, and then they could turn them any which way they wanted to, and then that might actually also encourage people to see what I mean. They always connect because of the way you've done it. See, look at that.
Well, that doesn't connect as well.
Turn it another way then. See?
No.
Okay. I had this thought a while back, like art that you could, a triptych or something that you could organize different ways.
It goes that way.
Yeah. Oh my God, Grace, that's deep. Could be time going backwards, the fragility of life and the stream of time, or some other nonsense.
Nonsense.
It's like something a Time Lord could say. There's Grace. Grace is a Time Lord. Anyway. Grace says this feels like a puzzle now.
Well, it kind of is. I'm just trying to see. I think my favorite is that one.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think that's my favorite. Yeah. No, that's not my favorite.
Don't argue with yourself.
That's my favorite.
So confusing. I'm watching. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that makes it look like a vine.
Mm-hmm.
Putting them all together. Oop, down. Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Okay, so ceiling, I'm going to do a couple layers of the polyurethane spray. Clear satin. If you've only got glossy, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be adding more. Then 2 coats at least, especially more so on the brush show piece, the orchids. At least 2 coats of the UV archival. And then I will do 2 to 3 layers of the brush-on version of the polyurethane. And that should have it completely sealed. The UV spray is going to have to go on both sides for this one because I did end up putting some brush show on the sides just to wrap it around because it looked odd having the burning there but no color like this. So this will have extra UV spray on it. This is the one done with the watercolor ground. I still need to redo that technique and get it done right. This one has the colored pencil and the pastels. I did use a bit of the Finesse alcohol color pencil blender, and that is what has kind of activated the pastel. And that's also why it's so bright. It's going to get brighter. And then what we did today with the Albrecht Durer. So they'll all be sealed the same. I will figure out how to hang them. They'll be hanging next week. And if we don't have any further questions on the Albrecht Durer, I'm going to do more of these. I really like how the tinting came out with this one. This is what I wanted more for these. So I'm glad I finally got there. So if we don't have any more questions, I don't want to know what that is. Okay. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully, I didn't confuse you too much with the Albrecht Durer colored pencils. Any of the watercolor pencils work great. So, but the Caran d'Ache Museum and the Albrecht Durer are the higher professional grade watercolor pencils. So if those are of interest to you, everything is linked down below, either on my Amazon influencers page or on my kit page. All of those are affiliate links and help out the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this with anybody you think would be interested. And if you're watching on replay, leave a comment and everybody let me know what to do next week, because I don't know yet. Happy burning, guys. Bye.